So I don't know if you heard me before, but apparently streaming, I'm not 100% sure how to stream through the YouTube app live as of yet, but streaming through YouTube Gaming seems to work, but of course it's just screen capture, so I'm screen capturing the camera app, so that's not the most ideal thing, but it works for now. So, let's see, let's take a look at the box here. Box that came in, super nice. Let me see if I can adjust my white balance a little bit, get the colors a little bit more accurate. Let's see here. No, that's pretty off. Well, probably not going to get much better than that, but that's all right. Cool, so the box is awesome. It's actually more gray than it's showing up in the camera, where it looks more dark, but whatever. It's super nice. It's got cool like 3D impression printing or whatever you call that, but comes with the Wraith cooler. I already opened it. I did record it though, so I'll have to patch together the video for that, for the uploading of the unboxing and whatnot, but there's the CPU. So anyway, it's weird because I actually have the stream up on my computer next to me, so I keep hearing an echo of myself. But cool, let's go ahead and take a look at the top real quick, and then I'll open it up. It's got a nice, cool, like little holographic sticker thing. I was sad when I had to cut it, but whatever. I turned the box into a mini PC. That's awesome. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Aren't the motherboards about, that size or whatnot? Those new ones that are like micro or something, I don't even know the size, what it's supposed to be called, but I don't know if they're quite this small, but hey, you could use it for, what do they call those? Those little tiny computers. The, I can't remember what those are called now. I even owned one for a while. It's gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. So there's ones that you can, you order to make things out of or whatever. I can't remember the name for it right now for some reason. It's escaping me. Raspberry Pi, that's it. Anyway, all right, so let's take a look inside the box. It's, again, like I said, really nice packaging. I already took the manual out and put it over here, though. It was in the box, but I couldn't get it back in, so that's all right, though. It's cool. It came in its own little box for the CPU. It used to just be the plastic thingies, I think, in the Intels, but of course it's been like almost a decade since I've bought new stuff to do a complete build. But let's see if we can. Yeah, that focuses pretty well. So 1,700, my opinion, the best of the three, best value. Save $170. You can overclock basically just as well. Performance is just as well almost. And sweet sticker. I like the stickers. I thought they were going to do away with that for a while, and I got irritated, and then they started making it again. It's like, oh, sweet. And it's just stickers, but hey, it's cool. Nobody really uses them anymore, but whatever. Indeed. A sticker. So, I'm not going to take it out of the plastic till the rest of my stuff comes because I don't want to screw anything up by accident. But, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool looking. I mean, it's about the coolest looking CPU I've seen with the engraved name in it, but not as exciting as using it though. So hopefully that stuff, motherboard and stuff, will come from Newegg. Looking at you, Newegg. MSD card, yeah. I'll set that aside now. Let's open this thing up again. Manual's not bad. I mean, it's tiny, but it's basically just certificate of authenticity, and then it actually does a million different languages, but it does show like basic setup. And I know from like what you were saying, Nate, with the connections on the motherboard having issues, I don't know if it details it here, but I'm assuming they're going to ship those plates out. But I don't know, just basic instructions will help, especially since I have just the factory setup that I'm going to do for now with the Wraith cooler. So, yeah, directions plug in, done. That's pretty much it. And you actually don't even need to use CPU paste. At least, I don't know, I don't think you have to because it comes with a layer. But let's open this guy up. This was initially in the bottom, and I couldn't figure out what this was at first because I thought it was an extension, but then I realized that it's a separate plugin for the lights. But yeah, obviously I'm not used to having two plugins for a CPU cooler, but anyway, so that's the plugin for that. The cooler itself, like I was saying, comes with a layer of thermal paste. I don't know if it's great or not, but I'm certainly not going to mess with it if it works. But this is the other connector for fan power, I'm assuming. And then there's the, yeah, RGB. Yeah, this is the RGB ring. I'm not sure if the logo lights up. I mean, it's weird. It's like rubberized a little bit. You think it would. I'm pretty sure it would from the videos, but just looking at it now, I mean, it doesn't really look like it does, but I would assume it does. This is just sticker. I don't know. It's pretty basic. There's the little connector port, by the way, for RGB. Oh, I just noticed, interestingly enough, this has a little jumper in there. Huh. Wonder what that does. Tells it that something's not connected or the port's closed. It's kind of bizarre. Maybe it won't run unless that's in there. It's kind of weird. Don't want to lose that. I was going to throw it out. I know you can take these screws and pop this thing off in case you're going to mount your motherboard differently. Because obviously this is going to only go a certain number of ways with these screws spacing the way they are, but you can pop this off and then rotate it in case you want the logo up the right way, obviously. But I think I'm going to pop this off too, since it looks really easy to do and tape off certain areas. And I'd like to spray the outside white. I mean, it looks pretty simple, and I don't think it's going to damage anything, especially since the fan is kind of deep in there. So we'll give that a shot probably. Last thing I guess about this, the screws look really easy. Man, I really hate the Intel ones I was using where it was like the push button. Those are just horrible. They break in like 5 seconds. And then the screws I had for the old LGA 775 were not super easy either because they were really spring-loaded, but these look really easy. Yeah, default to a different color. That's possible. That's a good thought. Yeah, that might be. I guess we'll have to see when we play with it. But anyway, I don't know. It's a CPU cooler. There's not really much super interesting about it. Obviously, all this stuff will look way cooler and be way cooler when we use it. But I guess that's pretty much it. That's all that came with it. Nothing super fancy. Sticker's a nice touch though. I like that. I like the etching. Packaging's awesome. Very nice packaging. And the cooler looks, like it's going to be decent. It's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. It's decently bigger than most of the stock coolers that Intel comes with, so it's a step up. It's probably like a $30 thing plus RGB. We know how expensive that is on fans. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else you want to look at? Am I abandoning the AIO liquid cooler? For now, yeah. I've seen specs on this cooler, and it does a decent job. I know you can get the clock anywhere between 3.7 and 3.9 if you're lucky. So I mean, they've basically tested between that 200 megahertz. It's not really a huge difference in performance. So I mean, eventually, if better BIOSes come out and I can overclock a little higher above 4 or something, I'll replace it with a nice AIO. But for now, this is pretty good, and it looks cool. I like the RGB. If it didn't have that, I'd maybe consider getting one of those. But that kind of factored into the whole cost thing as far as total cost against Intel. Does Wraith have vapor chambers? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't see any copper tubing. I mean, it just has like the normal fin setup. So I don't know. It's got a big copper disc, but I don't see any tubing or anything. It's just kind of a basic setup. Like I said, as far as the numbers I've seen, the 1700 in particular runs very cool, like I was telling you over the phone. So I'm not going to be too worried about temperature, at least for now. But if I do push the clock closer to 4, like I said, I'm probably have to pick something else up. But I'll have to do some benchmarking with lower clocks and see what happens. For my purposes, I'm sure it'll be good enough. I know a lot of people were saying about the 1080 performance being low and whatnot, but I don't think it's low enough that it's going to drop me below 60, really. I don't think there's going to be any sort of CPU bottleneck. But so anywho, any other questions? Want to take a look at something else for a little longer, or yeah. That's going to be cool, though. Excited. Come on, Newegg. Oh, yeah. Heaters and stuff. I've even seen people use them for hand warmers, I believe, which is interesting. I mean, I'd be scared to burn my hand, but repurposing an old Pentium 4 or whatever for that would be interesting. I still have that W5580 the engineering sample, but yeah, I don't know. I probably couldn't get much money for it anyway, and if I sold it, so I haven't done anything with it. Plus, it's kind of screwed up. I believe it's screwed up anyway. Its temps are really high compared to my X50 670, the one I'm running now. Delay with the chat. Yeah, there's a long delay. I'm sure there's a delay to my computer, and then I noticed there's like a 20 to 30 second delay to my phone because it pops up on the screen as I'm recording. So yeah. When I was gaming and doing live streaming last night, there was anywhere between a 10 and 20 second delay there too. But hopefully Twitch is a little better. I mean, I don't know, it might be, it might not be, but thankfully I figured that out. Their stream key issue thing looked like on their side it wasn't issuing new stream keys. But it worked today, so I can do that here in a bit. Stream something. Pentium D, yeah, I remember that thing. That's what you're saying. Ever since you ran it without a cooler, it never acted the same. That thing was pretty good though. It lasted you until, I don't remember what you got after that. Was it the AMD? No, because that was more recently. I don't remember what you had after that Pentium D. Oh, maybe it was it one of those, the W5580 thing that Ben gave us? Alrighty. Well, I'm gonna box this thing back up here. Let's take another look at the CPU while we're here. Diffused in USA. Interesting. Not 100% sure what that means. Made in Malaysia, though. It's pretty typical. I think pretty much everything's made from there. God forbid they have another typhoon or whatever. Well, I'll be screwed. Aim for $300 terabyte hard drives like last time. That would suck. I already got a big enough delay with the motherboards. Alright, let's see. Be careful about doing this. Yeah, Ben stuff. I really don't want to touch that on anything. There we go. Is that it? Oh. But, yeah, I mean, especially for future use, I think Ryzen's going to be a good bet. Obviously, I don't think we'll ever see quite as high clock speeds as the 7700K, for instance, but overall, I think we're going to see better value in the end, especially with anything productivity or anything even like I do with just WinZip and RAR stuff. I think it's going to be pretty sweet. But yeah. What does Ryzen taste like? That's a good question. I saw people tasting. Angry Joe was tasting the game cartridges for the Nintendo Switch, which I thought was pretty funny. Apparently, they put some sort of anti-eating technology. I'm not sure, to keep kids out of keep it out of kids' faces, out of their mouths, so they don't kill themselves or eat it. I'm not sure why you'd eat that, but hey, kids will eat anything, I guess. But he tasted it along with other Joe, and it was apparently super gross and left a taste on his tongue for like the entire stream he was doing, or a video, like an hour or a couple hours. But I'm not gonna taste Ryzen, I can tell you that right now. But leave the tasting in our own time. It's gonna go straight from this box to motherboard, pretty much. Just gonna sit in the box for the next week or so, unfortunately. But so next Tuesday, that PNY temporary RAM or whatever I decide to do with that will be here. Case could ship out any day, I hope. I mean, that's not the most important thing. I really would like the motherboard to ship out, but they said 7 to 14 days now. It was 1 to 15, but I mean, that's kind of the same time period. So it's only back ordered. It's not out of stock, so it should ship, I would think, instead of waiting for them to get a whole new shipment in stock and whatnot. But that's still another week or two, which sucks. So unfortunately, the chip will just have to sit around until then, we'll be using the old setup. But as far as streaming, that's another thing. Just even on the chip that I'm using now, the X5670 being 6-core, 12-thread, even though it's super old, I mean, it's coming up on, was it made in like 2000, 2008, 2009, something like that. I know it's like 8 or 9 years old, or 7 or 8, something like that, but it does pretty well. I was streaming Ghost Recon Wildlands last night, and I think I went about from between 50 and 60 FPS more down to like between 45 and 50. Very rarely dipping below 45, but it didn't really seem to make too much of a difference in game. I hardly noticed it. So obviously with Ryzen, that's going to get 1,000 times better. But so if you have any more questions, or you wanna look at the box some more, I'll cut the stream. Then I can stream here from the desktop. But I will say I need to figure out if I am going to stream anymore from the phone. Whatever app you're supposed to do, I have to do a little more research on that. Of course, I know you can live stream through Facebook, but YouTube's a little more interesting to me. So I have to figure that one out, because the camera app's not very ideal. I mean, you can see the interface. It's kind of stupid, but it works for now, I guess. Whatever. Alright, man, me too. Can't wait. Thanks for watching, sir. I think there might actually be another person connected here, but I guess we're going to wrap it up. And we'll see you next time. If you have any questions, comment, and I'll be happy to reply. Thanks.